ponies are made of butter in Night Springs.
You'll need to get to Shireen's office. He's got...
The fine folks at Remedy Entertainment are well known as some of the most prolific storytellers in the gaming industry. Max Payne and to a lesser extent Alan Wake have become what some may consider icons. So you can imagine when it came time to take a look at the studio's latest effort, Quantum Break, many folks, myself included, were terribly excited. But with 6 years since the developer's last big release, just how does this time-bending action-adventure and its companion live-action series stack up? Let's take a look. An experiment gone haywire. Time fractured. Your best friend turned enemy. We have our basic setup. But to go into slightly greater detail, you play Jack Joyce, an everyman who has returned to his town of Riverport after an extended period overseas. Jack has come at the request of his longtime friend and professor at the local university, Paul Serene, who's something of an egghead.
Explore the world.
Oh, good. Going into marketing spiel mode.
Don't ruin my flow.
The pair make their way to a lab where Paul shows you what he and your distant brother William have been working on for quite some time. As you may have guessed, it is in fact a time machine, and predictably things go bad pretty quick when it's kick-started and Paul is sent 13 years in the past.
Fucking incredible.
This causes time to break down and Monarch, a hostile corporation that's been buying up property all over Riverport, to seize control of the lab. You soon find out that they're actually led by a much older Paul Serene, with time-manipulating powers to boot. Luckily, your brother Will swoops in and you're able to escape from the university, but not before Jack gains a few time-shifting powers of his own. Now, I'm going to stop short here, as saying any more would spoil far too much of the plot's early twists. However, what I will say is that what ensues following the collapse of time itself is a multifaceted narrative where you'll take control of both Jack and Paul, with the choices you make at what the game calls junction points affecting the outcome of the next chapter and episode of the TV series. In truth though, these junctions, while interesting, don't really change the overall ending of the game, which by itself is a satisfying bookend, but worth noting nonetheless. In regards to the accompanying live-action series, these portions of Quantum Break are a nice departure from the action of the main game and well-written in their own right. They give extra depth to many of the main and supporting cast, and it's done well enough that by the end I felt like I really understood every character and their motives, which is saying something. As in Alan Wake, there's also lots of extra storytelling to be found in the environments in the form of posters, emails, radio broadcasts, and even a few televisions the player can tune into.
Every story finds its writer.
What this all adds up to is a very well-rounded narrative that demonstrates all the best strengths of gaming as a storytelling medium, and is a fun, provocative tale in its own right. Looking at the flow of the moment-to-moment action on display in Quantum Break, the overall gameplay is at times pulse-pounding, but at others a little confusing. The combat is exhilarating, but a couple odd platforming sections feel really dull and out of place. Back to that combat, which is definitely the star of the show. Max Payne gave us bullet time and John Woo-style flair. Alan Wake had the flashlight system and cinematic flares of its own. Quantum Break takes these past experiences and develops Remedy's tendencies into a combat system that's fast and fluid, with a fair bit of variety to how you approach certain firefights. While the third-person shooting is nothing special in its own right, it's when you unlock more of Jack's time-bending abilities, chaining together isolated freezes, compound bullets, and roundhouse kicking your foes to the floor, that the combat becomes something more unique and truly satisfying to engage in. The more engaging powers will come at a bit of a cost, as you'll have to find these chronon sources throughout the environment to level up Jack's abilities. They're never terribly difficult to discover, and you do have a radar to look for them, so it's well worth doing. Beyond the combat, there are a few disposable puzzles you'll have to solve, but the other main feature would have to be time stutters. These are moments where time essentially breaks down and some incredible scripting is put on display. They do admittedly involve some of the awkward platforming described earlier, however, they offer some incredibly interesting geometry to traverse, and when they impact the combat, the title really shows its strengths as you go up against time-manipulating Monarch agents that are just as quick as Jack. All in all, the overall experience of playing Quantum Break is relatively simple, but can easily be described as an absolute joy and is well worth your time. Slick would be the word that I would use to describe the overall presentation of Quantum Break. The game uses Remedy's in-house Northlight engine to deliver some incredible real-time effects work. I was stunned to see the environment continually rebuild and destroy itself many times over. Even more impressive was the striking detail on all the character models and the imperceptible transition from gameplay to cutscene. It's hard not to look at Quantum Break and view it as Remedy's crowning achievement. The studio has always set a high bar for cinematic action, and what we have here is a technical marvel. Admittedly, the game runs at a native 720p on Xbox One, but you may never notice this due to some very sophisticated rendering techniques and high levels of post-processing at work here. Beyond the technical stuff, the overall art direction of Quantum Break is quite strong, with lots of character in all its environments that really give Riverport a sense of space. Couple this with another strong score from Alan Wake composer Petrielenko, and it's a great look all around. If I had to nitpick, I'd just like to say that though it's a nice operating system, I don't know that there's this many Windows phones in use in the world, and all jokes aside though, Quantum Break looks and sounds great, making for an excellent experience from beginning to end. In looking at the title as a whole, Quantum Break delivers a breathtaking single-player action experience. It's one that's presentation is, in my opinion, only rivaled by that of the Uncharted series in its seamlessness. That said, at only about 10 hours, it's over far too quickly, and despite the differing decisions of the junction points, there's very little reason to replay the game once you've beaten it. Regardless, this is a title I can wholly recommend if you love a good story or are just sick of today's heavily multiplayer-focused games. Quantum Break gets a 4 out of 5. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked this video, come on and join the League of Heroes by subscribing. Drop a comment, leave a thumbs up, and all that jazz. I really appreciate the support. I've got news, reviews, and more coming every week, as well as a few surprises on the way, so stay tuned, and thank you for supporting Game Room Hero. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.